Hello listeners, and welcome to another poetic edition of Poetry Analysis. Today we are going to analyze and discuss about Emerson's poem Fable. And Fable, in the context of Emerson's poem, Fable, if you go by the dictionary definition, Fable is a narrative in prose or verse, usually with a moral, and at the end of the narrative, and usually with animal characters. So Fable is a short tale in verse or prose which have animal characters, which have animal characters as the main figures, and which have at the end a moral lesson. So Fable, in this poem, Ralph Waldo Emerson, in the poem Fable, we have a moral lesson, obviously, and two characters here are the mountain and the squirrel. Mountain, an inanimate object, and the squirrel. 1, 2, 3. Let us first have a quick reading of the text. Fable by Ralph Waldo Emerson, an American essayist, philosopher, lecturer, and poet. He was born in 1803 in Boston, in Massachusetts, and died on April 27, 1882. We'll discuss about Emerson's philosophy, his revolutionary ideas about transcendentalism later. But first of all, have a quick reading of the text, Fable. Fable by Emerson. The mountain and the squirrel had a quarrel, and the former called the latter Little Pig. Barn replied, "You are doubtless very big, but all sorts of things and weather must be taken in together to make up a year and a spare. And I think it no disgrace to occupy my place. If I am not so large as you, you are not so small as I, and not half so spry. I will not deny you make a very pretty squirrel track. Talents differ, all is well and wisely put. If I cannot carry forest on my back, neither can you crack a nut." Once again, the mountain and the squirrel had a quarrel, and the former called the latter Little Pig. Barn replied, "You are doubtless very big, but all sorts of things and weather must be taken in together to make up a year and a spare. And I think it no disgrace to occupy my place. If I am not so large as you, you are not so small as I, and not half so spry. I will not deny you make a very pretty squirrel track. Talents differ, all is well and wisely put. If I cannot carry forest on my back, neither can you crack a nut." So this is the poem. As you can see that in this poem, we have a kind of a conversation between the mountain and the squirrel. But the dominant figure, the person who dominates, the character who dominates the poem is the squirrel. The squirrel is arguing. And if reply to the mountain's complaint or mountain's sort of accusation that the squirrel is a little pig. Pig is a person who is self-righteously morally correct person, who is a kind of a hypocrite, as the mountain suggests. So in reply to the kind of humiliation that the mountain does to the squirrel comes out with an argument which I think is a kind of a support for individualism and individual rights, as Emerson has so vigorously suggested in his idea of transcendentalism. So now have a kind of a paraphrase of the text. The mountain and the squirrel had a quarrel. So there is a contention, there is a quarrel, conflict between the mountain and the squirrel, and the former called the latter, the former is a referential word. It suggests, it means, it refers to the mountain. The former suggests the mountain, refers to mountain. Call the latter again is also a referential word which refers to the creature, the squirrel. So mountain makes a very disparaging comment about the squirrel, calling him a little pig, a person with a kind of a self-righteous attitude, who claims to be morally superior, but actually he is a hypocrite. So the mountain and the squirrel had a quarrel. The former means the mountain, called the latter, called the squirrel little pig, a hypocrite, ক্ষুদ্র নীতিবাগীশ ব্যক্তি, ভণ্ড নীতিবাগীশ ব্যক্তি. Ban replied. Ban here of course is a term, is a dialect, is a word meaning, in dialect it means squirrel. Or you may say that Ban has been, the squirrel has been named Ban in this poem. Ban replied, the squirrel replied, "You are doubtless very big." This is an admission on the part of the squirrel that no doubt the mountain has a very gigantic figure. It occupies a very large space, huge space. It is very, very big. There is no doubt about that. There is no doubt about the fact, about the bigness in terms of size of the mountain. You are doubtlessly very big. You are doubtless very big. You means the mountain. Mountain is very much big. There is no doubt about it, as the squirrel suggests. But all sorts of things and weather must be taken in together to make up a year and a spare. But all sorts of things and weather must be taken in together to make up a year and a spare. Now, spare means, by spare the poet means a globe representing earth, or spare means atmosphere. You may say atmosphere, right? A year, obviously 365 days duration that the earth takes to revolve around the sun. So to make up a big thing, we need all the small things together. So summing up, taking all the small things together, we can make big things like year and spare. So to make up a year and spare, we need all sorts of things, small, big, or medium-sized things, everything. Weather here means it's a climate or season. Climate or season. To make up a year, you need 6 seasons. You need to make up a year. You need 6 seasons. Not one season will make up a year. So all the 6 seasons, beginning from the summer to winter, you have to take all the seasons to make up a weather, to make up a season, right? To make up a year. All 6 seasons, if you think of the Indian climate, we'll have to count it to make up a year. So all the things, small things, should be taken together to make up a year and a spare, to make a whole things, big things, huge things like a year and spare. All right. So in this world, everything has its important, right? Small things, if the small things are added, then the big things are, made, right? So, but all sorts of things and weather must be taken in together to make up a year and a spare. here, yes, 65 days duration, and spare means, as I have said, it means the globe representing Earth, or you may say it means climate. So to make up a climate, you need all the seasons, all the 6 seasons in Indian climate, Indian situation, right? Sorry. The squirrel continues his argument regarding his philosophy that everything is important. Everything is important in this world. He says, the squirrel says, I think, this is squirrel again speaking, I think, squirrel. He says, I think it's no disgrace, it's no dishonor. Disgrace means dishonor. It's not a dishonor. He does not feel ashamed. I think it no disgrace to occupy my place, to exist, to have his place, the kind of place that he occupies, has on earth. So he does not think himself ashamed. He does not feel inferior because of his position, because of his occupying his place on earth. I think it no disgrace, I think it no dishonor to occupy my place, to occupy my position on earth. If I am so large as you, this is the argument, next argument, you are not so small as I. If I am not so large as you, if I don't have the large size, the bigness that you possess, you are not so small as I, but you also lack the size, the smallness, the quality that I possess. I possess the quality of smallness, and you lack that quality. I lack the quality of bigness in terms of size, right? But I also possess the quality of smallness. So you have different qualities, I have also different qualities. So both are standing on the equal platform, both are equal. Size does not matter here. Size does not matter here. It matters here. We both are important. We both are important on earth, right? Both have qualities, and both also lack qualities. Both possess qualities, and both also lack qualities, right? If I am not so large as you, you are not so small as I. If I am not so big as you, you are not so small as I. And not half so spry. Not half so spry. Spry means energy, full of energy. Energetic. Energy. E-N-E-R-G-Y, energy. So another quality that the mountain lacks is that it is not as energetic, full of energy as that of the squirrel. It is not as vivacious, as lively as the squirrel. So this is the quality that the mountain lacks. This is the quality that the mountain lacks. Not half so spry. Spry means full of energy, energetic, lively, vivacious, full of vitality, full of life, full of vitality, full of energy. I will not deny, I will not refuse the fact, I will not deny you make a very pretty squirrel track. This is an admission on the part of the squirrel, is that the mountain has the quality of making a beautiful squirrel track. Track means beaten track or path. So mountain can create a beautiful track, a beautiful path for the squirrel. This is the quality that mountain possesses, which the squirrel does not. doesn't. Very pretty means beautiful squirrel track. Track means beaten track or path. Talents differ. This is the moral that comes at the end of the lesson. As usually you will see if you look at the definition of a fable. Fable, as I have already said, is a narrative in verse or prose with animal characters and with morals, usually at the end, which exemplifies a moral truth or a form of human behavior at the end. So this is the moral that comes. Talents differ, all is well and wisely put. Talents differ. Talents mean inborn qualities or special aptitude or special qualities. Inborn qualities or special aptitude or special skill, you will say special aptitude or skill, aptitude or skill. Talents differ. In this planet, every creature, every living being, be it animate or inanimate, they all possess distinctly different qualities. Talents differ. Talents are different. Creatures possessing talents are different. Creatures possessing inborn qualities or special aptitude or skill are quite different. A weaver bird, babi paki, lacks the talent of a kingfisher, machranga. But both have different qualities, special aptitude. A weaver bird can weave beautiful nest, right? A kingfisher can catch fish with his exceptional talent and skill, right? So both are important on earth. Talents differ. A weaver bird and also a kingfisher, talents differ. God has given to every creature, be it animate or inanimate, distinctly different qualities, and those qualities, those talents are important, right? All is well. You can link this kind of comment or kind of lesson, moral lesson that the fable gives us to Emerson's concept that everything, every creature, every human being has within itself a divinity. Every creature is a part or particle of God that resides within us. So every creature, every particle, every matter, animate and inanimate object is important on earth. Talents differ. All is well and wisely put. All is well and wisely put. Everything has been positioned, put in a proper place. All is well and wisely put. Everything is placed with wisdom, sagaciously or prudently. Wisely means sagaciously, prudently, or discreetly. Right? So God has the unique knowledge to place every creature, every animate or inanimate object in its proper place, so that that quality can do good to human beings. I will tell you a story about which will teach this kind of lesson, all is well and wisely put. Later on, all is well and wisely put. If I cannot carry forest on my back, I here against the squirrel. If I cannot carry forest on my back, so the squirrel does not have the ability to carry huge forest on its back. It has not the power. So it lacks the quality of carrying forest on its back, which the mountain can. Neither can you crack a nut, but at the same time, you means a mountain. At the same time, the mountain can also not do a basic thing like crack or breaking a nut. So, at the end of the poem, what we get is that both mountain and the squirrel have qualities and also limitations. The squirrel is sprightly, it is full of life and vivacity, it can crack a nut. But the mountain, at the same time, has also qualities like carrying a forest on its back, has also the qualities of creating beautiful track for the squirrel, but at the same time, mountain cannot do a simple task of breaking a nut, right? So both have qualities and also lack qualities. And the message of the poem is that in this whole scheme of universe, every being, living or not living, has a particular reasons for existence, and everything or being has been put in their proper position with great wisdom, with great discretion, with great sagacity by God, the supreme power. Right? So this is all of the poem Fable. Let us have some talk about Ralph Waldo Emerson, his biography. You know, Ralph Waldo Emerson was an essayist, lecturer, poet, and above all, he was a great philosopher. He was born in Boston, Massachusetts on May 25, 1803. He studied in Harvard College, later served as a pastor in church. He became a lecturer of religious thoughts and was influenced by Indian philosophy of Gita and Vedas. This influence you can see in his concept of transcendentalism. And he was a pantheist. He believes that a pantheist is a person who believes that in everything, be it animal or human beings or animate or inanimate objects, there is a indwelling spirit, a divine spirit. So divine spirit dwells in everything, from the smallest grain of sand to the stars. Everywhere there is the divine power. Maybe he has got this concept from the Gita, Indian philosophy of Gita and Vedas. This great thinker and poet died on April 27, 1882 of pneumonia. His famous books on poems include Concord Hymn, and he was famous as a sage of Concord, because he delivered lectures there at Concord on various topics, and his most original and most creative thinking, I think, was expressed in his series of essays entitled Nature, which was published in 1836. And the American scholar was a trendsetter, and in this American scholar, William Emerson suggested that American people should come out of the European influence of the European literary traditions. They should create their own literal and cultural identity. And he said that if they fall back so heavily on European culture, European hegemony, European legacy, that then they would not be able to create their own identity. As one of his contemporaries said, that American scholar, what Emerson does is the it is and a declaration, intellectual declaration of America's independence. Then his divinity school address is very much influential in creating the movement of transcendentalism, the oversoul, and self-reliance. These are very strikingly original and creative essays from the pen of Emerson. His follower Walden, Thoreau, also experimented with communal living in his Walden, withdrawing himself from society and confining himself to a farm where he tried to experiment with individualism. So this is all about Emerson as a philosopher and poet and essayist who was a trendsetter. The American critic Harold Bloom had said that he had created a very strong kind of original kind of influence on the American minds. So let us now, before concluding the text Fable as the poem, let us have let's have a quick look at the difficult words that has been used in the text, right? So let us look at these difficult words that have been used in the text, which I think the meaning of these words is important for your examination point of view. So prig means one who puts on an appearance of being morally correct. One who puts on an appearance of being morally correct. Nitibagis Bhakti. Self-righteously morally correct, self-righteously person, right? Morally correct person, a kind of hypocrite. Burn means squirrel in dialect, of course, squirrel. Spry means full of life and energy. Pran Shakti te bharpur, Jivoni Shakti te bharpur. Weather, climate and season, climate or season. Sphere means a globe representing earth, right? A globe representing earth. And also there is the meaning implied here also, atmosphere. So fable is the fable, as the name suggests, is a poem which has a lesson, moral lesson, and this moral lesson can be linked back to Emerson's concept of transcendentalism and his concept of individualism, individual rights, importance of individuals as a person, and also as importance of things, objects, every object on earth. So this is all about Fable. I hope you have liked my effort, and if you liked, please share, subscribe and comment. Despite the fact that I am suffering from cold, I have tried to give you the lesson. If you like this, like my small efforts, you can share, you can subscribe, and you can comment, and also any positive comment will be humbly attended to in my personal comment boxes. Thank you very much. Bye bye.